Once again, I welcome you all to our next topic. Our next topic is selection. Last week we discussed about recruitment, the meaning. We discussed about the process of recruitment. We left it at some point, then we looked at the external and internal sources of recruitment. Today, we are proceeding with the stages of recruitment, and one thing that is key is that recruitment as a process is never ending, and in fact, the end of recruitment is the beginning of selection. So when recruitment ends, selection begins. Another thing that is important is recruitment is perceived to be positive while selection is perceived to be negative. Remember, recruitment is inviting others to join the organization, while selection is now eliminating those who do not have the relevant qualifications. So our session today, we are going to look at recruitment, and recruitment is very critical. If we look at our notes, which I'm going to share, we have got the selection, and it takes us through the meaning of selection. Then we go through the selection processes. So looking at our case, I'm trying to share my work, and it is not accepting. Let me see why. But looking at the case of what we have, you will find that selection is very key, however much it may be perceived to be negative, but it is very, very critical in each and every organization. Now, the first thing we do is to define selection. What is selection? How should it be made the best thing for employees in an organization? So selection is defined as the process that involves, selection is defined as the process that involves screening. It involves testing. It involves appointing the best suited applicants from the recruitment pool. And I hope that we can see the screen I've shared, and we are all together, that my video and my audio are all clear. If they aren't, you will just let me know. So we've said in our definition, selection deals with screening, testing, and appointing the best suited applicants from recruitment pool, or the process that determines candidates that are likely to be successful and eliminate those that are likely to fail. So you can see the elimination starts. Elimination begins in selection, but recruitment, we were attracting, everyone was being attracted in the whole process. But here in selection, we're eliminating those who do not qualify, and those who qualify, we bring them on board as they move on from one stage to another. In selection, we have got the procedure, and the selection procedure is quite long. First of all, it starts with the preliminary interviews. A preliminary interview is used to eliminate candidates who do not meet eligibility criteria laid down by the organization. So the criteria is very important. There are those who may not meet the criteria and would still go ahead and apply. So if we have such, then it will not be fair to have such people applying and then you invite them for an interview. You need to do away with them. In fact, this is an informal process. So you need to get to understand your candidates and move on from that step to another one. So after going through the preliminary interview, which is just informal, trying to find out this person, where the person stays, all such kind of information. And remember, Sometimes someone may not even turn up because they got a job elsewhere. So this is the stage where you'll confirm that. After that, you go to application form or employment form or application blank. That is the second step. I hope you can see that. So this is an example of what we call, this is an example of an application form for Public Service Commission. If you see a job advertised by the Public Service Commission of Kenya, because this is the Republic of Kenya, this courtesy I'm using of the Public Service Commission, just for demonstration so that we understand. If you look at this form that I've shared, it is an application form. And what does it require? What does it ask of an individual? So you'd find one is the first part. You are asked to please complete all sections of this form as appropriate in block letters and submit to the secretary. What does it mean when you say in block letters? So that I can see if we are following. Someone can say it or can type. What does it mean when you are told to fill a form in block letters? Still waiting who will come first. I'll go with the first one as long as it's right, and I believe it is right. All right, thank you. Thank you, Fatma. He's saying using capital letters. So the whole of this form should be filled in capital letters. Thank you. Amina, Mina, Faith, Karibuni, welcome. We are looking at selection process. We've looked at the preliminary interview. Also, we have looked at, we are now looking at the second part, which is the application form, or it's known as application blank. The first part, if you can see, is the vacancy applied for. After that, they give instruction, and therefore it means you need to read the instructions. Don't fill a form before you read the instructions. Sometimes that's what we do. You are given a form to fill, to sign, you don't even ask why you are signing. That is not right. It is only right when you do what is right. Thank you, Linus. You also said you fill in capital letters. Yes, that is important. Use capital letters as you fill this form. So instructions are very important. Then they ask you about the vacancy applied for. So what is the vacancy post? In this case, for government jobs, all this information are provided. So the vacancy or post, that is like chief accountant, human resource assistant. Then there's always vacancy number, something 2020 ministry. Is it Ministry of Education? Then what department? Is it higher education or lower or whatever name is given? Then personal details of the applicants. So you can see the personal details, the name, surname, other names if there are, then title. Mr., Mrs., you just mark one. Then date of birth, include it. Your ID, include it. Include your ID. Thank you, Najib. Welcome. Thank you, Najib, for muting. So moving on to the application form. Just giving an example of application form for Najib who has joined any other person. We're looking at a sample application form for employment. And that is well indicated in the title, application for employment form. This for the Public Service Commission. If you want to be employed in the Public Service Commission of Kenya, you can do this, fill this, print it, fill it, then take it there, or go to their website, open it. This one you can also access through their website. And they have said, do not attach copies of certificates and testimonials. Those instructions are very important. Don't attach your certificates and testimonials. Just fill this form and drop it there. Or fill it online where you'll create your sign up and then you'll be logging in to check your status after applying. Then your sub-county, so you need to know your sub-county, your constituency, postal address, all those ones are personal information. And they ask you, are you living with a disability? Yes or no? So mark the right one. If yes, give details. Nature of disability should be given. Details of registration. If you are disabled, then it means you should have registered. So what's your registration number? When were you registered? And next is the applicants in the public service only. If you have been employed by the Public Service Commission, then that is your part. If you are not, ignore it and then move to the next one, which is all other applicants. If you're employed, how much are you? Others now, if you're not employed by the Public Service Commission, then you will fill these ones here. The current salary. What is your current salary? How much are you being paid in that company? Where applicable, if you're employed. If you are not applicable. Then position held. Which position? Effective date. When did you start? What is your gross salary? And the question is, what's the difference between gross salary, basic salary, net salary? That one you can post in the public forum. We will review it later. Then other personal details. Have you ever been convicted of any criminal offense or subject to probation order? If yes, state the nature of the offense, the year, and the duration of conviction. Now, some of these things should not be used to deny you a job, but it's good to be open because they might get this information if you are not careful. Have you ever been dismissed or otherwise removed from employment? That's why it's always not good for you to have an offense to be dismissed from employment. If yes, you give the reason why you were removed from employment. Then move to the next, academic qualifications. Start with the highest. Level. So the year, you write the year 2010 to 2016. Then which university? What did you get? Is it bachelor, degree, diploma? Then course, which course, the name of the course. Then specialization, which give us the specialization in the class or the grade. Start with the most recent, like it's indicated, starting with the highest. Then you go down the line. Then professional or technical one, if you're doing HR, then you go for IHRM if you were registered. If you haven't, just leave it. It will not help you. If you've done some certificate course for maybe 1 week or 2 weeks or 1 month, then you do the same. Then you move down to relevant courses and training attended. Then from there, you go to current registration. Are you a member of a body? If you are, this case still is IHRM. Give us that information. You'll always have membership number, the type of membership also. Then there is employment details where applicable. Start with the current or the most recent. So employment details. That also is very important. So these are very critical things for your information. I expect you as my students not to let yourself down and even let us down, because these are critical things that we face in organizations or in employment, and sometimes we let ourselves down. It is not supposed to be the case. Then we also have the next part of it. After looking at the employment, then now the other questions that you will be asked down the line. Briefly state your current details, so the duties, responsibilities, and assignments, if any. That is, if you're employed, give us the kind of duties you are doing, your responsibilities, and assignments. Then give details of your abilities, skills, experience. Still, that is part of our form. And the second last part is the referees. People who have interest with you professionally. Please note that people who have interacted with you professionally. Give their full name, occupation, address, postal code, city or town, mobile phone number, email address. And the second one, and the period of time they've known you. Then from there, you move on to the second person. So in the Public Service Commission, they ask for 2. In others, they may ask for 3. When you've done it, the last thing is the part 13th one, where you certify that the particulars and all the information you've given or provided in this form are correct, and you understand that any incorrect or misleading information will automatically lead to disqualification and even legal action for your information. You may even be taken to court if you provide wrong information, especially if it's information that may have been, we will realize later that you have been convicted and you told us you have never, and then later we find out, we will take you to court, or the company may take you to court. So that is on the application form. Then you write the date and signature. Then take your form, drop it at the Public Service Commission's office, and you'll be done. Where is the Public Service Commission offices in Kenya and in Nairobi? I have asked 2 questions. I hope we are working on them. I know concentrating and also writing may be a challenge, but that also is a question. If we don't review it, remind me before the end of our session. So that is the first or the second part in the selection process, the application form or application blank. We've said, because of magnitude of the work, I'll be giving the general aspect of application, then the others you'll find. Because now here you see is applying the issue of age, qualifications, reasons for leaving, previous job, all those ones we've looked at there. Then what is the importance of application form? One, it summarizes captured information, just giving a summary of an individual's information. Number two, it makes judgment on substantive matters. Judgment on substantive matters, such as whether the applicant's education and experience to do the job are relevant. So is this experience relevant? We wanted 10 years experience. We wanted 4 years experience. Is it going to help us? Is it relevant? Number three, it draws conclusion about the applicant's previous progress and growth, a trait that is especially important for management candidates. So are you having a progress growth? Are you growing? Where did you start from? Is there some change? You cannot be a manager all through. You are not going to senior manager. You are not becoming a director. No, you can't be a manager for 10 years. You must always grow upwards. You cannot be an accountant, just accountant all through. You need to be growing and moving upwards. So those who have joined, like Esther, please welcome. We are looking at the selection process. The first step of process I've mentioned is the preliminary interviews. The second one I've mentioned is the application blank. And that's where we are still. So the application blank is another advantage of application blank. Number four is that it draws temptation previous work record. So what is your ability as a candidate? Are you going to help us? Are we going to grow together with you? It is very important. So that is what we have. Then the next one is that it predicts which candidate will suggest. Well, good handwritings, but give them the form to fill. They're struggling with English. They don't understand what they're doing. You can tell that there's some gap. So that gap will tell you this one is not truthful. This one doesn't know how to follow instructions. So very key, and that's why we need to go through that. And when you're done with that, you go to selection. Selection tests. According to Gronbach, says that a test is a systematic procedure for comparing the behavior of two or more persons. A systematic procedure for comparing the behavior of two or more persons. So that is Gronbach, a sample of an aspect of an individual's behavior of two or more persons. When you look at the next type meaning is that a sample of an aspect of an individual's behavior, their performance, and their attitude. So all these ones are very important. But when you go further, you'd find that selection test helps assess a candidate's ability to perform specific tasks. And they are sometimes known as work sample tests. These types of tests aim to replicate actual job tasks. They try to take us through the actual job tasks, the tasks that individual will be performing. And as we go down and explain them, you would find that they are giving us the practical aspect of an individual. So as we go to the methods now, or the types of employment tests or selection tests, you would find that we have got aptitude tests. We have intelligence tests. We have achievement. To reach me, and at the same time I'm having a class, so I hope they will just join us. I've seen Purity joining, and the rest. If someone knows them, I don't. The student has not identified himself or herself, I would have told someone to assist. But I have a challenge assisting now at the same time I'm training. I hope the person will find out. So we have different types of tests. If you can see the types of tests, please read for me the first one. Read for me the first type of test. Anyone who can see and is able to read. The first type of test you're seeing, anyone who can read, anyone who can type, seems, oh, thank you. I have seen, so that means you can see. I've seen one person has already typed. The first one is aptitude test. It's good to confirm, because I may be thinking that you are hearing me and you're not hearing me, but I always see at some point, maybe there's much going on that I may not see, but that's fine. So the second one is intelligence test. Yes, that's fine. That's okay. The second one is intelligence test. The first one is, and then it's followed by achievement test. So we also have achievement test to find out about I just want to find about the aptitude. We want to find out, what is there something that you can gain if we train you? Do you have the ability to be trained and learn on the job? Are you having some kind of mechanical, clerical, or manipulative capacity? And this is very important. In this case, as you look at the aptitude test, we could be looking at the mechanical skills. If you are in your house, your power has a problem or your bulb has a problem, you can do some connection and light just comes back. It is just because you have some aptitudes in yourself. You are not even in the school of electrical and electronic engineering, but you can do it. So that's the aptitude. It is divided in very many areas. So the mechanical, the clerical, and manipulative capacity. The second one is intelligence. The intelligence tests. In the intelligence test, we are looking at the intelligent quotient of candidates, or we are looking at the capacity for comprehension, your reasoning, how fluent you are, what is your level of verbal comprehension? What about your numbers, the memory? Do you remember things that happened last year? Do you remember what we did in semester 1 for those who are there? And we looked at recruitment, the same thing. Do we remember them for your information? So that is also very important. How intelligent are you? That is key for us. Then you'd find that we have got so much about the intelligence. But again, there's achievement test. Most of us have done computer. You get to a job where you are told you must be computer literate. And then you get to be asked to go to computer lab of that organization. Walk into the computer lab. And in the computer lab, you find there's a computer or laptops. And you've told us you've done computers, you've done Microsoft Office, you know PowerPoint, you know Excel, database. Fine, this is your assignment. One is on PowerPoint, one Excel, one on database. Are you able to do it? That's what we are going to find out. Nothing much. Only that, then you are done, you leave. And they'll give you feedback, because they are not going to train someone else. They want someone who's already trained and is aware. And because you wrote it in your CV and you wrote it in the application form, then we have you to try you. There is interest test. The interest test is very important. Thank you. I can see there are those who tell me they remember what was done in semester 1. That's very great. But some of us, I don't know whether we can trace our notes. I don't know whether we remember even anything we did, but I'm assuming we remember. Though I'm not going to assume for the sake of this class. In this class, I'm assuming we don't remember. But in my mind, I believe you remember. I know there are those who did very well in that unit in the introduction to HR. So, and very well doesn't mean that others did very bad, but in terms of maybe someone got 80, someone got 60, and some even got more than I expected, though I always expect to get 100. So that one I will not dispute. Whatever marks you get, so long as you give your best, it's fine. But there's always room for improvement. Interest test. We want to find out your interest. What are you interested in? What are your likes and dislikes? Are there things you love that relates to the job in question? Are there things you hate as an individual? What are your hobbies? What are your occupations? You love traveling? All right, then you could be very good in doing sales and marketing, moving from one place to another. You can be a pilot. You can be an air hostess. You can be working we can take you even to Somalia. We can take you to Uganda. We can take you to South Africa. You could be moving because some jobs requires you to travel like 50% of your work. You'll be away from your family members. However, some people will always fake their interest, but you cannot fake it all the rest of your life. Then there's personality tests. Personality test is very critical. It tries to find out the interests, sorry, not even interests, but the qualities or the traits of an individual. The traits of an individual. Zifanya semester 1 ilikuwa shida. Oh, we didn't even get something or whatever in semester 2. But I want to get feedback from you, by the way. How did you find our online class? And especially employee sourcing and industrial psychology. I need those feedback so that I can improve where I can. So that is what we are talking about. It's very important, very critical for us, and therefore it's important that we take it into consideration. The next thing, or just to wind up on personality test, we've said that it proves deeply to discover the clues to an individual value system, emotional reactions. Are you mature emotionally? Temperament, your characteristics, your mood, your maturity level, confidence in yourself. Do you even have confidence in yourself? Are you able to make decisions? Are you social? Are you objective? Are you patient? What do you fear? Because fear is always there. Initiative, can you come up with new things? Are you someone of integrity? Confidence, do you have confidence in yourself, as I've mentioned? So those ones are very critical parts as far as our unit is concerned. When you're done with the tests, we look at another thing, and that is interviews. We have done so much about interviews, and even the notes here I've given so much in terms of interviews. And just to check, I've seen some posts. Job interests help the pool of qualified candidates to own their job. Any job depends on the satisfaction of the worker that are coming in the enterprise. So that's why it's important to have interest of the candidates and get to know, because that's when they are going to give their best, they are going to commit themselves to the job, and the satisfaction will automatically be generated. The next thing is interviews. In interviews, we have got different types of interviews. We have one-on-one interview. One-on-one interview is, now interview is one-on-one interaction between the interviewer and the potential candidate. Remember, we're calling this person potential candidate. You are not yet already in the job, but you are potential. There are high chances you're getting the job, and that's why you applied for it. So that's why it's important. But then we have one-on-one. The one-on-one is normally by the employer or the one who will be your boss. The one who is going to be your boss is the one who takes you through the whole process. And sometimes it's done at the beginning or towards the end of the interview process, but it's you and the person or your supervisor, the one who will be your supervisor in the organization. The next one is panel interview. The panel is critical. You'd find many who are asking you questions. It's composed of 2 or more interviewers and is designed to reduce individual interviewer bias. Sometimes bias can happen. Sometimes it may happen even deliberately or unknowingly. So when you have more than 2, it can be a bit objective. So that's why it's critical that you bring on board panel interviews so that you ask questions and there will be questions being asked in turns. Job stress interview. Some people may be put into a situation where your jobs are stressful. So when there is stress, some of us I know cannot manage stress. If they find something that's going to stress them, they leave. I'm sure some of us struggled to join in this course or to join the portal and they were being stressed with it. And therefore they decided to leave and stop that day. And then the next day they stopped. Then they realized they cannot keep waiting. But we don't want to be stressed. So there's that stress interview. There are some jobs that are automatically stressful. There are some jobs that are really stressful. So because of that nature of stress, some candidates may not manage it, so they decide to leave it. But there are those that are less stressful. So what happens is that you can decide to choose it or ignore it. That is stress interview. That's why you will know how someone behaves when they are stressed. You will know their true color. Stress someone, you will know how they respond. You will know how truly they show their characters. There is group interview. This is based on the groups that we may want to have in an organization or based on teamwork. There are times we expect to have a team or teamwork in organization. So leadership skills, are you able to take up a leadership role in an organization or in a group you're put in? How do you relate with your colleagues, the interpersonal skills? You're going to have a sales representative or human resource manager dealing with people. Are you able to interact with others? That's what we mean. Please go through all these notes. You will find so much, including telephone interviews. And let me mention that there's exit interview, though I don't always consider it a selection process, but exit interview is done to an employee whose employment has been terminated or who has opted to resign from the organization. That is what we call exit interview. When it gets to a point where you feel you are tired, you want to leave for your own reasons, you resign, or the employer may terminate your services. And then what happens? You will be called for an exit interview. And when they call you for that, it should not be forceful, but they should convince you. And it's good to give your feedback, the honest feedback. Tell them about your work environment. Tell them about the organization you've been working for. Tell them about the job you are doing. Tell them about your supervisor. Give them honest feedback. Tell them how to improve. If you're leaving ZTech, we would wish to hear from you when you finish and you're graduated. What did you not like from ZTech? What did you like? So that there's improvement. That's when you can also turn back or return the property of the organization. Maybe you had a badge, like I normally have my badge. You are given a laptop by the institution, return. Then you are cleared and you are told if there's some balance or some payment should be given to you. Then you will be told, please come back for your payment at the end of 1 week or at the end of 1 month. I believe we are all together as I move on from that part to checking references. I've mentioned references when you're looking at the form, the Public Service Commission form. So I hope that it was clear. The Public Service Commission form, remember we were looking at the references. If you can see that, the referees, that's what we mean. It helps us to get information about the candidate. So please, you say that you should give us people who interact with you professionally. Don't give us your parents, your relatives, unless you've used them professionally. They've employed you, but you can avoid using their names because they may let you down at some point, and let them know that the information they provide to you is professional. So If you use the same name like Otieno and Otieno, they may question, is this your relative? They can easily detect. So you be cautious. Thank you, Amina, for confirming that you can hear me. I hope others are also following Bitao. I can see you. Thank you for joining. Eric who's joined us, and many others who have joined. If I did notice you, please feel welcome. So that is important for us. I'm not going to say much on that because already I've mentioned it earlier, but I'll give you room to ask questions. If you ask questions, you can be posting. If you have comments, you can be posting. There is physical or medical examination. Because I want to finish by exactly 40 minutes, then there's a video I'm going to show as we wind up. I hope it will work. The physical or medical examination. It is important to find out that an individual is medically fit for the job. Medically, mentally, physically fit to carry out a given task. And therefore, please ensure that the person is qualified for the job in terms of medical condition, the physical condition. That's why sometimes we go for some jobs, even if it is for the jobs like you call them jeshi, or the jobs for, we call them the armed forces or police force. They look at your height, they look at your weight, they look at your eyesight, they look at your hearing. Some jobs need to be very sensitive. They told something and you've already listened. The eyesight, you can see from afar because your task is very critical. So the medical report is very important. It should be provided based on the guidelines given by the organization. And finally, appointment letter. When you've gone through all the entire process, if you are successful, you'll be given an appointment letter. If you are not successful, you'll be dropping from one stage to another. Preliminary interview, they drop. Next one, they drop. Next, they drop. Referees, they drop. By then, you know, referee can fail you. They may not pick up the call. So get someone who can take your call. The referee can fail you because they can give wrong information. They tell you employ person X for at your own risk. You cannot risk. If you are told go to that place at your own risk, go to town without having masks on. I hope you people always have your masks on. If you go without it, you are going at your own risk, and you will be taken. You are penalized 20,000 Kenyan shillings. Yet the mask is 150. So that is very, very important for the case. Sorry, let me proceed and finish this part. So the appointment letter is very important. Did I have a sample? I don't think I have it for now. Maybe I'll share it somewhere else for the sake of our class. So appointment letter is an informal employment contract that usually spells out just the basics of compensation, benefits that is now taken as the context, the compensation and benefits, job title, reporting relationship, and many other areas. That is the appointment letter. I don't know whether someone has accessed appointment letter before. Oh, Lydia, sorry, we are looking at the, I don't know where you left us, but we are looking at the appointment letter. I hope you looked at the, you followed with us, and which one was that we did last? We looked at before appointment letter, we had the physical or medical examination. Yes, there was physical or medical examination, and then after that is appointment letter. Lydia, I've confirmed that you are with us now, so that you don't get lost. The appointment letter is the letter given to a successful candidate upon going through the whole interview process, and it has the job title, it has got the rules and regulations, it has got the duties and responsibilities, the timings, the working hours, all those, and there's somewhere you sign that you accept. They give you a period of time for you to respond that you accept the job. If they don't hear from you within that time, then they'll consider that you are not Oh, thank you, Eric. Thank you, Eric. But you can mute your mic for now, Eric. You can mute your mic. Thank you. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Lydia. You also confirmed that you're with us. Mhm. Okay. So the key part under our case is that we have looked at the whole selection process from the first preliminary interviews. Then we moved to application form or application blanks with illustration. We moved to selection test with examples. We've done the interviews. We have gone further and looked at the references or referees, then looked at the physical or medical examination, and finally, we have done the appointment letter. When you're looking at this, I want to share something with us. Let me share this with you. That is the video I want to share, so don't worry. So that we follow it together, I hope we will. The video is not sharing. Meanwhile, you can post if you have a comment. You are free. You can post your concern or your comment. As I try to share this video, I hope it will come on board. So this one is about interviews. You may be asked the question, tell us about yourself. Thank you. Thank you. That is on interview. Tell us about yourself. Did you find something? Did you learn something? Faith, I know, had a problem. Let me see. Did you hear something? Did you learn something? What did you learn? Anyone from Kitale? Tell us about yourself. I'm from Kitale and the rest. I don't know why some didn't follow it, but I can see some responding. Eric followed, Linus followed, Lydia, Fahma. Fahma, didn't follow something? Okay, thank you, Najib. Just want to see, and also you can be giving me your questions on what we've done. Just give me your feedback on all that we have done and today's lesson. Purity, let me hear from you. Purity, can you say something? Purity? Yes, stick to your professional life. Very important. Stick to your professional life. Don't go too personal. Yes, professional life. Good. Any other comments? Yes, still the same. It needs one to be professional and just to talk about what the employer wants. Remember that time is very short, so you don't have much time and the people are focusing on you. So tell us about yourself. Now you know what to say. That was an example of customer service. So you know your area or where you're going to be employed. Understand. If it is oranges, tell us about selling oranges. What is it that you are going to do in the organization? All this is very important. So I don't want to go beyond that. Anyone with a comment, anyone with a question for me or for the rest of the class? Do you find the charts informative? Do you find the notes okay? Do you find the audios fine? Do you find the video fine? Which one do you want us to do more? The video, the charts, the journals, the forum, the journal, and which other one? The wikis or the video like the one I've used? Which one do you want us to do more? Just to get comments from you people. There's someone who was looking me on the phone. If you joined, please confirm that you joined us and you are here. There's some student, one of our students was really disturbed to join. I hope you joined and you are here. If you are here, you can just send me an SMS to confirm. If not, I'll reach out to the student to ensure next time the student is with us. Any comments, any question on what you've done today? You know, it has so much. This is a topic that takes us even 2 lessons. But today, I've done the summary and then decided to bring the video. I'll be using more. Some videos I'll be posting in our portal so that you can look at later. All right, thank you, Lydia. That is noted. I'll be trying my best wherever I can. It's okay, Lydia. Thank you, Amina. Thank you. I want to see those others who are not typing just to get your view. Joseph has joined us. Joseph, welcome. Gitau, can I hear you saying something? Those who can talk through the video audio, you can just unmute and talk. Those who are not able to, it's okay. Yeah, I'll be responding to your videos. Sorry, I'll be responding to your journals. If you check, I believe I responded to some who communicated in the journal or the forums. So that is something I promise I'll be going back. Like after this, let us go back to our journals. Let us go back to the portal. You'll find I've posted some work for us to do. The notes, go through them. Don't ignore the notes. Don't ignore the audio. And then now I'm posting. Immediately I end this, I'm going back to the portal and I'm going to post some work for us to do before, so that it will be enough for us before 2 and even after 2. Fahma, I've not seen you talking or posting. At least I've seen Gitau is typing. When you are done, I'll be done. When you're done, I'll be done. But that is all for today. I want to thank everyone for turning up. I can see questions. That means you've learned, and I believe we've learned a lot. So it was good having you as my student. I look forward to see you again, to learn together and to grow together. Let us keep the interactions and interact more. Thank you, Gitao. The video was very helpful. We'll be using more of them. Relate with them. And you see, this the importance of this. Imagine if it was in a class, I would still do that, but sometimes it may take me time to organize that. But you see this, bringing the video again, it even makes you understand more, and that is a benefit of using this. So I'll be trying to use the many options that I have just for us to learn and grow together moving forward. I'll wait to see all the comments so that I don't leave anyone out, and then I take the time. Let me take the attendance before I forget. That is done. Then what else? You can. Attendance has already been taken. So if you are here, I know that I've taken the attendance. Thank you, Lydia. Thank you so much. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Najib. Thank you so much. That was great. And the last person, there are 2 people typing. So I'll finish with them. And then we wind up and look at the next topic for our next session will be placement and induction. After that, we'll be doing job analysis. So be following. Always be following with us. As I wind up with those who are still typing, your comments are very key. Please don't feel disturbed. I've seen those who are even inboxing me, and I appreciate just giving their views. So don't feel disturbed. If you can't type on the public forum, just type inbox me. But I believe everything we post is for our benefit. If there's any challenge, any concern, feel free and share for us to grow together. Thank you. Oh, yes, the bundles are being worked on by the institution. So it's being worked on. So don't worry, the bundles are being worked on. I hope that it will be sorted out soonest. Hope so. The university is working on them. You can check later in the portal if you can still see this. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you all. I want to wish you well. Have a blessed day. Go back to the portal now for the remaining time. You have all the time. The portal task I'm posting up to, I extend the timing to even 2 days or 1 day. So just go back to the portal, be there. Most of these are normal class, 3 hours, but I allow you to even go beyond 3 hours. But just be in the portal. If there's a concern, reach out to me on my phone. Reach out to me on the portal. Send a message in the portal. It will be for our benefit. Oh, Joseph is typing also. Okay, fine. Let me not lock you out. For the 2 who are typing, so that we finish together. Those who are all right, yeah. The bundles we are following up. There was a problem with whitelisting. Safaricom was doing the whitelisting so that you can buy bundles through the line that has been whitelisted. So I hope that it should be now this week or latest next week, but this week it should be done. And I'm concerned about that. That's why I can't go for 1 hour. I can't go for 1 hour or more than 1 hour for this. It may take a lot of our time, our bundles. I understand. Oh, just a follow up. I hope this one I'll be posting it in the portal so that you can also get the whole recording for audio and video at the same time. But that was good to see you. it's good to join. And we've done the selection process from preliminary interview to the application forms, then to selection test, the employment interview. Then there is the use of references, then the medical or physical examination, and finally on the appointment letter. So all that is important. That's what we've done in summary. Please find time, go through the work. Thank you all. I wish you well. Have a blessed day. We end it there for today for the sake of the video conference. Thank you.